You know that feeling. It's 2 a.m. You're in a dark room, the blue light of your phone is searing your retinas, and you're currently watching a video of a guy in Singapore building a swimming pool out of mud. You don't know why you're watching it. You don't even like swimming, but your thumb just keeps flicking. In 2026, we've reached a point where our brains aren't really ours anymore. They've been rented out to developers in Silicon Valley who know exactly which pixel to turn red to make your heart rate jump. About a year ago, I realized I was a digital shell of myself, so I did the unthinkable. I didn't just take a break. I deleted it all, everything, for 365 days. Now, everyone tells you that quitting social media will make you happier, but nobody tells you about the weird, slightly terrifying psychological phases your brain goes through when you actually do it. Like, why did I feel a physical itch in my thumb for 3 weeks? And why did I suddenly feel like I didn't exist if I didn't post about my lunch? Today, we're going deep into the neuroscience of what happens when you reclaim your mind. Because trust me, the version of you that exists on the other side of that delete account button, that person is a total stranger to you right now. And honestly, they're way more interesting. But before we get into the brain rewiring stuff, we have to talk about the withdrawal period. Because the first 72 hours, they weren't peaceful. They were a psychological horror movie. When I first hit delete, I expected to feel like a Zen monk immediately. I thought I'd wake up the next morning, smell the roses, and maybe start a garden. Instead, I felt like I'd lost a limb. Psychologically, this is called a dopamine crash. See, social media isn't just fun. It's a variable reward system, the same mechanism used in slot machines. Every time you pull down to refresh your feed, you're pulling the handle on a digital one-armed bandit. Maybe it's a notification. Maybe it's a hate comment. Maybe it's a meme. Your brain doesn't care if it's good or bad. It just wants the hit. When you cut that off, your brain goes into a panic. I found myself opening my phone, swiping to the second page where Instagram used to be, and staring at a blank space like a confused puppy. This is called phantom vibration syndrome and habit looping. My prefrontal cortex, the part of my brain that's supposed to be in charge, was being bullied by my primitive basal ganglia. But here's the weird part. Once that itch subsided, something else started to happen. I started to feel bored. And in 2026, boredom is a superpower. But wait until you hear what that boredom actually did to my IQ, because it turns out we've all been making ourselves dumber for years. Think about your attention span right now. If you've made it 4 minutes into this video without checking another tab, congratulations! You're officially an Olympic athlete of focus. The average person's attention span has dropped to about 8 seconds. That's less than a goldfish. And it's not because we're getting stupider. It's because we've trained our brains for continuous partial attention. We're never fully anywhere. We're 50% in the conversation we're having, and 50% wondering how we're going to phrase the tweet about the conversation we're having. After about a month of being offline, the brain fog lifted. It felt like someone had wiped a layer of grease off my glasses. I could read a book for an hour without my brain screaming for a hit of novelty. In the world of psychology, we talk a lot about neuroplasticity. Your brain is like plastic. It reshapes itself based on what you do most often. If you spend 4 hours a day scrolling, you are physically rewiring your brain to be distracted. This brings me to a question I've been asking myself lately. Are you ready to rewire your brain, or are you okay with letting a 22-year-old algorithm, coder in California, decide what you think about? Because once you take that control back, your personality actually starts to shift. And that's where things got really uncomfortable for me. About 3 months in, I hit a wall. I went to a really cool concert. The lights were amazing, the music was incredible, and I had this overwhelming surge of anxiety. Why? Because I couldn't prove I was there. We've been conditioned to believe that an experience doesn't count unless it's documented. We've turned our lives into a performance. Every time you post, you're not just sharing, you're curating a brand. You're choosing the filter, the angle, the witty caption. You are the CEO, the marketing director, and the lead model of You Inc. Psychologists call this extrinsic validation. You're looking for a thumbs up from a guy you went to high school with 12 years ago to tell you that your life is good, When I quit, that digital persona died. And for a while, it felt like I was dying. I felt invisible. But then a massive shift happened. I moved from extrinsic validation to intrinsic satisfaction. I started doing things just because I liked them. I went for a hike and, get this, I didn't take a single photo. I just hiked. It sounds small, but it was revolutionary. I was finally the primary audience of my own life. But this internal peace came with a side effect I didn't expect. I realized that half of my friends weren't actually my friends. One of the biggest lies social media tells us is that connection is a numbers game. We think having 1,000 followers means we're socially successful, but there's a concept in sociology called Dunbar's number. It suggests that humans are only cognitively capable of maintaining about 150 stable social relationships. Anything beyond that is just digital noise. When I went offline, my friend list of 2,000 people vanished. At first, it was lonely. No one was liking my existence. But then my phone started ringing. My actual friends, the ones who know my middle name and my coffee order, started reaching out. Instead of liking a photo of their kid, I actually went to their house and met their kid. We've traded depth for breadth. We have thousands of acquaintances, but nobody to call at 3 a.m. when our car breaks down. Going offline forced me to reinvest my social energy into the people who actually matter. My relationships became 10 times deeper because I wasn't distracted by the theater of social media. However, there was one thing I was terrified of: missing out. The FOMO was real, or at least I thought it was, until I realized that what I was missing was actually a steaming pile of nothing. The fear of missing out is the ultimate psychological leash. It keeps you tethered to the apps. You're afraid you'll miss an inside joke, a news event, or a party invite. But here's the secret I learned after a year. You aren't missing anything. If something is truly important, a global event, a death in the family, a massive cultural shift, you will hear about it. People will tell you. The rest, it's just the Joneses on steroids. It's envying a vacation someone took on credit card debt. It's getting outraged over a political take from someone who hasn't read a book since 2012. I traded FOMO for JOMO, the joy of missing out. There is an incredible peace in knowing that there is a giant, screaming digital argument happening online and having zero idea what it's about. My stress levels plummeted. My cortisol, the stress hormone, dropped significantly. My sleep improved because I wasn't injecting my brain with outrage right before bed. So, after 365 days, did I go back? Did I download the apps again? Well, the answer isn't a simple yes or no, and what I discovered about controlled use might be the most important part of this whole experiment. I'm not going to tell you that you have to delete everything forever. We live in a digital world, but I am going to tell you that if you don't take a radical break, you will never know who you actually are. After a year, I realized that social media is a tool, but most of us are being used by the tool. If you want to start your own rewire your brain journey, you don't have to go for a year. Try 30 days. See what happens to your focus. See who stays in your life when you stop liking their posts. See what happens to your self-esteem when you stop comparing your Monday morning to someone else's Saturday night. The biggest takeaway from my year offline? My life didn't get smaller, it got bigger. I had more time, more focus, deeper friendships, and for the first time in a decade, I felt like the owner of my own mind. The algorithm is fast, but your human spirit is deeper. Don't let a scroll be the legacy you leave behind. If this resonated with you, do me a favor. Put your phone down after this video. Go look at a tree. Talk to a human. Just exist. You'll be surprised at how good it feels. Thanks for watching. Now go live your life. Seriously, turn this off.